This is the UC Hunting Properties Podcast, your home for all things recreational land. Our goal, to help you stand on your investment.
Hey guys, welcome back to the UC Hunting Properties Podcast. We're going to do a fun one today, a little entertaining one. Got some special guests here today. Bryan Atkins and Jason Small of the United Country Lamb Pro team. Bryan killed an extremely large deer last year, and his cohort's not here to share the story, but Bryan kind of runs in tandem with Tyler Arnold, the illustrious duo in northern Missouri and southern Iowa. Jason's brokerage is down there in Memphis, Missouri, kind of northeast. I'd call it northeast Missouri.
Yeah, about as northeast as you can get. Yep.
Yeah, beautiful area of the country, big deer country regardless. Everything you guys touch has big deer written all over it. But back to Bryan's deer, T-Rex, he took an exceptional animal last year with his Hoyt bow, and I want the story firsthand from him because there's more to the story than Bryan just getting lucky. So without further ado, Bryan, I'm going to have you walk us through the whole scenario of, the history, the setup, what happened. How did you do it?
So it goes back to 2024. So 2024 was my first year to have Iowa residency. So I moved. I'm from North Carolina originally.
And we're going to talk about that too.
But so I've been hunting Iowa, Missouri, North Missouri for the last 7-8 years, and I quickly figured out that taking 5 and 6 years to draw a tag, that wasn't going to work for me.
Didn't feed the desire.
It did not feed the desire. And but anyway, so 2024 was my first year of actually having resident tags. And me and Tyler, we scouted a lot of public land. I own a couple farms. We've got a few leases. And we scouted like crazy, Kurt. We had 5 big deer found. Okay.
Now let's define big deer before we go any further.
We're talking Boone and Crockett caliber deer, 170 or bigger, and we had 5 found. Well, EHD come through and it crushed us. And, of course, it was bad a lot of places in southern Iowa.
You weren't alone.
We accounted for losing every big deer that we had found except for one, and he just vanished. But we had accounted for the rest of it. And so it kind of switched gears for us because we didn't have what we was looking for to hunt, so we was just strictly going for age then. And well, anyways, he happened to be on my home farm there, and I thought he was a 3-year-old. Tyler was actually the first one to see him, and he seen him. It was I think November the 1st was first time that we laid eyes on him. And then I got him on camera right after that.
I remember even in those pictures, Bryan, he was big.
Yeah, he was 160s, mainframe 8, and we can throw up some pictures of him from then. But he had all the kickers and stuff, but a mainframe 8-pointer.
Tines.
Yeah, and they was opposite, though. This one was real tall. This one is just
kind of weird.
Opposite. Yeah. But you can see when you look back, because I've actually got one of his sheds from that year, and you can see where he's trying to throw this stuff on,
Made me panic.
But but anyway, so Tyler was the first one to see him. And he told me, he's like, he texted me, and he's like, I got a hammer up under me, but I think he's forward. Anyways, he got off and he called me. He's like, dude, he said, I'm telling you, he said, if we weren't on your farm, I'd have probably shot this deer, especially with what we was dealing with that year. And so anyways, fast forward, that evening I seen him. And so me and Tyler both had passed now, but ultimately Tyler was the first one to pass him. And so I got him on camera, and I immediately run to my neighbors. And I was like, look, and I showed him videos because I videoed him, Tyler videoed him. I was like, look, we passed this deer.
We got something pretty special.
You need to tell me, this is the type of deer that, we want to see, especially this year. We don't have anything back here now but some old bucks that need killing.
Yeah.
And, 150-inch style deer. And so they agreed. They told me, they was like, we'll pass him. And they did. They stuck by their word. And
do you know definitively, did they have multiple encounters or
they had? I know the one boy seen him 3 or 4 times.
Okay, so it's not like
yards.
they weren't per se on him.
Yeah. So it So we all agreed, well, the last time I seen him, I seen that deer 10 times. I know I seen him 10 times. But I seen him on January the 5th, and he dropped his right side.
Excellent.
And so I knew, I was like, we've made it here. And so me and Tyler, we're kind of opposite of a lot of people. So like come January 15th when Missouri season goes out, we start doing a lot of our scouting.
Sure.
And we pretty well do all of our scouting for the next year there the last 2 weeks of January and into February, because you can get in anywhere you want to get into.
Yep.
You ain't got to worry about, especially on public land. Everybody else is already, hunting
everyone's
season.
burned out,
they're
man.
burnt out.
Yeah.
It's, but we do a lot of our scouting, and we was thinking about T-Rex there, because that's what made us. I named him T-Rex, was just because he just looked like just crazy with his kickers
he might
and
be
stuff.
Part dinosaur.
Yeah. And so fast forward, T-Rex, we got to the summertime of this past season, 25, and of course we do a lot of velvet scouting and all, and we're constantly we're looking after some mini farms for clients and all, and we get that's the good thing about what me and Tyler do with hand in hand with the real estate. We run a lot of trail cameras for clients. So like I stay logged into a lot of cameras across from northeast Missouri all the way to central northern Missouri, and then all of southern Iowa. So we get to see a lot of the different
kind of what's going on.
What's going on,
right?
yeah. And but velvet scouting, never seen him. Never seen him out in my backyard because I've got big ag there.
Not to interrupt you, Bryan, but I was going to ask a question. So you said you knew he dropped in antler early in January.
Yeah.
Was that anywhere near where you killed him, or like
it was
assuming you found
it? No, so my neighbor gave it to me. Okay. We have a deal that if I kill a deer that they've got the sheds to, they'll give them to me, and vice versa.
Fair. Good.
Right now they've been giving me all the sheds every year. Not saying that, like, not trying to sound cocky there, but it's just we've got two different strategies. Right. Yeah. And so anyways, never seen him during the summer, never got no trail camera pictures of him, nothing. Hadn't heard, anything about him from neighbors. I was watching a big deer. He ended up, my neighbor killed him. He was 186, but
wow.
I had sent Jason a snap of him there one evening, and I was like, this deer, he very well could be, a high 190s typical style deer. He was just a big typical, but he ended up going 186 net. He grossed like 192, 193. The only thing he had a big split too. Dang. And that's what hurt him on the neck.
Big framed up.
Big typical. And so anyways, fast forward, we actually had a lot of good deer found this year. We started out, I think we had 6 over 160
going into last
fall, yeah, and we had 4 probably in that 180 range.
Well, the one Tyler killed's no slouch.
Oh, he's a giant.
Hammer. I mean,
giant.
Probably didn't score giant.
163-inch 8-pointer.
Yeah. 23.5 inches wide. I mean,
he's got 4-inch G3s.
Yeah,
so anybody that knows about score, just think about this: an 8-pointer, and we'll throw a picture up of him too. But an 8-pointer with 4-inch G3s. Scores 163.
But beams that go all day and mass.
And this ain't none of that TV score neither. This is you bring anybody out here and let them put their tape on it,
right.
Okay?
It's a freak.
So, yeah, he's a giant. But Tyler, actually, he killed that deer second time in.
Yeah.
So October 22nd.
Well, he had texted me and said he was on a good one, and I know if I'm getting Tyler Arnold saying a good one, like, I kind of had a feeling.
That week of October, from October the 22nd to Halloween this year is when it happened for us down there.
It was just on
That
fire.
was the heart of the rut.
Yep.
Like it was just a little early. And I was texting clients telling them that. And I told my wife, I said, there's no way it can continue like this because, like, this is the best rut I've ever seen. I mean, it was that week, there was no work going on for Bryan. I mean, there just was zero.
Deer on the brain.
It was deer the whole time.
Right.
But so he showed up October – I want to say it was around October the 8th night.
Do you feel like that had any correlation with your neighbor knocking that other big one out of there?
I killed him before my other neighbor killed this one.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
and,
fair enough.
Just where this deer lived, his home range was just different.
So
found out where he was at too.
I found out where he summered at. So after you kill a deer like that, of course, everybody starts coming out the woodwork,
Yep.
but so he showed up like October the 8th, first picture. I woke up, it was like 2:30 in the morning, got up to take my dog out. And I, of course, like everybody, as soon as you wake up, you're checking in pictures.
It's a disease.
He showed up. I called Tyler at 2:30 in the morning. I called him till he answered the phone. And I ain't went back to sleep. I was like, he's back, and this son of a gun is big. And so, we started trying to, figure out, okay, well, where are we going to kill him at? And I will say, we had come up, and Tyler said it. He said, I think that deer is going to be killed at the clover plot. That's where he'll be killed at. That ain't where we got him on camera or none of that, but he said, I think he'll be killed there. And I said, I agree with you, And so we started getting him every night.
Well, that's what I was going to ask. How consistent? Once he was there,
Once he was there, he lived on 80 acres until he died.
Unbelievable.
And that is no lie.
Or less.
Or less, yeah, literally. I'm saying 80. I can narrow it down to 40 for you.
Sure.
And but
that's a pretty common theme, though, when you start talking 200. They're a different animal, man.
Well, he and I really thought he was 4.5. I swear I did. Last year, I thought he was 3.5. Me and Tyler,
I remember those pictures, Brian, and that looked like a baby.
He was. It's clean, slick, wussy of a deer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's the biggest wuss of a deer you've ever seen in your life. And so he starts. I'm getting him on camera every night. Every single night, every morning, just multiple times. And this deer's driving me crazy, And we're, we was looking, of course, we look at the weather coming and we look at the barometric pressure and the moon phase. We look at all this stuff.
Was everything night pictures in October?
Up until October the 25th.
Then he started
That's when he
walking.
daylighted, first time. And he daylighted October 25th, and literally it was 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
And he was locked with a doe.
Sure.
He locked with his first doe on the 25th, and I know that without a shadow of a doubt. And Tyler killed his deer on October 22nd that morning. And we typically, that's a little early for us to start hunting mornings.
Me too.
But it was just all right. He rattled in $5 to the base of his tree. And he texted me. He was texting me, and I think we posted this on Facebook. But he texted me because I was hunting. Of course, I was hunting him, and he texted me. He said, "Hey," he said, "he's here. I'm fixing to get it done. He's at 60 and coming." And I texted him back, and I said something like, "Hell yeah, we'll make sure get it done." It won't 2 minutes. He texted me. He said, "It's done," like that. And so, anyways, I ended up having to come down, and we went. I had to drive clear an hour and 20 minutes to go because he killed him on public.
Sure.
I mean, he hunts a ton of public. I hunt some public. It
But
just
I
all
want to go
depends.
full disclosure on that because Tyler Arnold is not a normal hunter.
No, he's
Tyler
a
will do whatever's
is
necessary to work
there
his
is,
ass off.
It don't matter if it's 12 miles back. It don't matter if it's climbing mountains. It don't matter if it's going through. You could lay down a bed of rattlesnakes, and if he thinks he's got to be on the other side, he'll go through them. Okay.
Well, he's one of those guys that I've always said he'd be the last person on earth I'd want hunting me because he's going to be relentless.
You don't. But so we went and found his deer. He didn't run 60 yards, God, we had a heck of a drag out of there. And I've actually got a video. We gutted him. Tyler tried to Josh Bomar him. We put him on his shoulders and tried to come out with him, and his own knees gave away. But anyways, so we was on cloud nine, because he just killed a hammer. Well, he daylighted, and gosh knows it was just like pick your poison, because my farm, the way it's set up and all, I don't have that distinct place of I know I can go in here in 2 times and kill him. I don't have that on my farm. What I do have is I have food, and I have I set up for the right orientation for wind direction and get in and out and all that. Well, Kurt, keep in mind, now as I was a landowner, I get three buck tags, but I get a landowner tag. I can have 2 bow tags. Yeah. And so I was passing some of the best deer. Now keep in mind, I'm coming from North Carolina here, okay? I was passing some of the biggest deer I've ever passed. I was passing deer bigger than anything I've ever killed with my bow. Yeah. Okay. And even having 2 tags, I was so worried that if I shot one and he run to where I thought he was at, I'd just blow it all up. And so the 25th, he daylights. Okay. 27th, he daylights again with that doe. And then he vanishes for 2 nights, just gone. Not on camera, not nothing. I'm stressing.
You think he was out searching for number 2?
I think he just
had her
hunkered up because it was early, Kurt.
Yeah.
You know, like I understand and I know the science behind when a doe comes in the estrus
usually
and
about
all.
a 72-hour thing.
But something was just early this year with him, and I don't know why, and I don't know the statistics behind it. But anyways, he disappeared for 2 days, and I'm just stressing like crazy. And keep in mind, look, I'm not one to lie. Was I going to ask my neighbor if they'd seen him? No, I ain't told nobody he's back.
Right.
You wasn't broadcasting it?
Yeah, that's just, and I'll get to this, but my neighbor ended up asking me if I'll ever tell him if another one like this shows up, and I was like, look, no offense, like I want to be neighborly and all, but no, I get a deer like this on camera. First thing I'm not doing is going around, hey, have you seen him? Have you got him? You know, I'm just not doing that. You know, like,
granted, on the flip side, all you're going to do is probably turn up the pressure on your neighbors.
Bingo.
And decent odds he's going to be back on you anyway. But.
I mean, let's just be realistic about it. Like, we're all human here.
Mm-hmm.
And so he shows back up. I'm hunting this deer, just playing the wind, and I don't have any moves I can make. I can't go in on him and hone in and crash in because I don't own that. Okay, I just don't. Well, November the 5th, I wanted to hunt
Some would
my
argue
clover
the best
plot.
day of the year.
I wanted to hunt my clover plot. The wind just was not right. I had a buddy up that's been hunting Missouri, and he was going to film. He went to sit with me to film, and I've got a creek, I've got a clover plot, big ag, and I've got 2 tower stands, one on each side of the creek here for different winds. And we get in that thing. And I told him, I was sitting there, and Zach was with me, and I told Zach, I was like, I just want to see this thing in person. Like, even if I don't get a shot or to kill him, I just want to see him. And my Lord.
Now, were you guys, like, sitting all day?
No, we went in, it was 1 o'clock.
So you went in earlier?
Went in at 1 o'clock. I actually had some work I had to do. I actually had to go. It kind of frustrated me a little, and I don't take this the wrong way, but Tyler's done killed, so he's supposed to be doing all the real estate now, right? Okay. Well, a guy called me and wanted me to come look at like a 160-acre farm, and it was like all tillable, like 10 minutes from my house. And so it's like, God knows, I've been hunting now for like 10, 12 days straight, and we're talking $1 million farm here. Like, I better slide out and go do this. But so we got in at 1, and we went in there 15 minutes, and 160-inch deer bust out chasing a doe. I mean, it's just incredible. And keep in mind, our buddy Zach, he's from down in Arkansas. So like, he don't, this is just,
he's
it's
probably
crazy.
losing his mind.
Yeah, it's just crazy. And bucks running does, they're just what you dream of, And man, I'm telling you, Kurt, I looked and this little doe popped out, and she was a smaller doe. And I told Zach, I literally, and if he was on here, you could call him and ask him, and he'd tell you. I looked at him, I said, that's the kind of doe T-Rex would be with right there.
And sure enough.
That son of a gun popped out, and boy, we both like to flip that tower.
How far?
He was 80 yards.
Also, like,
standing 30 from the stand where I wanted to be in. But he pops out with her, and I've got some video footage of it and all, and he's out here, and he's bumping her around and just doing his thing, and then he lets her be, and he starts eating clover, and he's coming up. He's at like 50, but I have no shot, and I don't want to take a 50-yard shot at a deer like that.
And while this is going on, because it takes like 20 minutes, the text and the snaps are flying.
Well, I do remember, I think distinctly that day you sending texts.
Yeah.
And there were deer flying all over the place.
Oh, they were. It was incredible. And he's coming up here, and Zach's like, okay, you fixing to get your shot. Calm down. I was like, just shut up. Like, don't tell me. Just let me. You're going to get me more nervous, And so he gets up to like 34 yards, and I literally was getting ready to come to full draw. I needed one more step. Here comes another buck, chasing a doe, brings her across the creek, runs all these deer back this way. But we watched this deer for an hour and 20 minutes, Kurt. And I watched him do everything deer do. I watched him take these horns and scratch his ass with them. I watched him lick himself. I watched him run does. I watched him just everything they do. Well, he takes off, headed up toward my house. And about 140-inch deer comes around the corner and is sitting there working a scrape, and T-Rex is going towards him. That deer sees him. He comes to him. He run this deer off with his tail tucked between his legs. And so, like, it was just an incredible evening, you know. And so November 6th, wind.
Did you feel like, I got to ask this, Bryan, did you feel like, shit, that was my opportunity?
I didn't.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't feel like it's over now. It's done, because everything was so clean, and like it was just. He never knew we was there. We was on the right wind. Everything was chaotic. Bucks running does and all, you know. So like I didn't. I did feel like that. Hey, I thought that he was locked with this doe. I really did. But what didn't add up to me was that 140-inch deer running him off and him leaving his doe. You know, if he was locked with her,
clearly wasn't ready.
So something didn't add up.
Or he done did his deal, huh?
Yeah, like it didn't add up. But so November the 6th, wind still ain't right to hunt back there. November the 7th, it ain't right. November the 8th, it's raining.
So you're completely sitting out. I want people to hear that.
Yeah, I'm completely sitting out from where I think I need to kill her.
I'm
off in the distance. I'm still hunting, but I'm off in the distance where I don't think he'll be killed, but just trying to watch, to keep the intel. And so on November the 8th, it's raining, and the wind is supposed to switch. I need a north wind or a west or a northwest. It's out of the south. That's what we was getting. We was getting hammered with these souths and southeast, and I knew. I told Tyler. I said, Tyler, I can't anymore. Like, it's supposed to switch at 4 o'clock.
I got to be there.
I've got these blinds for a reason. Like, so it was raining. I went in at 1 o'clock. I got in my blind, and I text my wife, and I said, if I die, I suffocated from nose jammer. Okay. I did. I texted her that because I had so much nose jammer sprayed in that blind, had it sealed up. I mean, you couldn't even breathe in there, Kurt. And I was right. I was by myself, and it was like it was warmer. It was like high 50s, low 60s, and raining. Well, seen a few deer and all, and had some does come out in my clover plot, and bucks coming out here running them around, and ate. And it was like 4:15. Well, let me back up. 2 o'clock. I seen a deer going through the woods, and I don't know why, because I couldn't see his horns, but I texted my buddy Aaron, and I said, I swear I think I just seen T-Rex, or I'm going delusional. Like, this deer's driving me crazy, so it may not have been him, but I just caught a glimpse of a deer going through the woods. Well, like 4:15, 4:20, I had no deer out in the field. Everything had left, nothing, just sitting here. And I look, and coming down the fence in the timber, I see him, and I know that was him. I seen he went up through there, made a big loop, come around. He's coming right down the fence. Well, I've got a fence gap, okay? And I knew I'm going to have to shoot this deer at this fence gap. I knew that this was going to be my chance. And I'm going to ask,
like, Bryan, is that a fence gap you put in by design?
Yeah.
Yeah, to funnel them?
Yep. Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
It's all of them funnel right through.
Yeah.
I mean, you know how you can manipulate these things. And so I knew, I was like, I didn't think he was going to come out into my clover plot, though, because I didn't have no deer out here. So, I know he's just looking frantic for does and all. He gets to that fence gap. I'd already ranged it, even though I know the distance. You know how that is, double checking. And I opened this window. And now, keep in mind.
Now, do you know, like, has the wind completely changed?
That's what I was about to tell you. I keep opening the window to check it. Wind still is just wrong. So I'm keeping it shut up, spray more nose jammer. Okay. And like, I don't know. I checked it at 4 o'clock, and it was kind of like a swirled in, but I don't know for sure if it had switched yet or not, but I was just keeping everything sealed up. And so he gets almost to my fence gap. I open the window. I'm getting ready to come to draw. He steps in that fence gap, and he turns and comes straight to me, and he's grunting every breath.
Just fired up.
Burp, 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 burp. And can you imagine seeing that coming to you right here? And he's closing from 35, 30, 28. So now,
facing you, kind of.
So now I shoot a slide sight. Yep. So I'm sitting here back at the drawing board. I just take it down to like 22 yards, and that's where I left it. He gets there at about 20 yards, turns quartered away, just as pretty as you could ever dream of.
To die.
And I come out of one of them bow windows, and I drew back, and I macked him, and it was probably 22, 23 yards. And I just tucked it there, tried to go like center of the rib cage because he's slightly quartered. And I shot him, and I won't really I try not to get tore up till after the shot. But I knew in my head, I was thinking about this. I was like, I've waited my whole life for an opportunity like this. All the work, everything comes to it. Don't screw this up.
Yep.
Just don't screw it up. Like, why do I want to let 3 seconds of excitement mess up a lifetime for me and turn into a sad story? So I shot him, and like anybody, I seen it was a good shot. He runs out here 40 yards and turns and just stands there broadside, and he's pumping blood. Just pumping, and I was looking at the offside, but hey, look, call me whatever. I'm an old redneck from the Carolinas. I see a deer, any deer, as long as I can still see him and he's standing, I'm flinging.
Yep.
So and at this time, Kurt, I was shaking like crazy.
I can't even
okay,
imagine,
I was shaking like crazy. I grab my quiver and I pull the arrow out while I'm shooting mechanical broadheads, and I did not realize, but when I pulled it out, I deployed the broadhead.
Sure.
I fletched it and all. I drew back, and I see my broadheads open, and I was like, screw it. I'll hit him somewhere.
Right.
I shot 4 foot over top of his back. Literally. Arrow going down through, doing a flip and all. So he takes off, and he gets out here to 62 yards, and he's butt facing me. I pull another one out. Same thing. And it was my fault. It ain't the broadhead's fault. It's my fault. I'm telling you.
You're moving a little fast, yeah.
You couldn't have paid me $100 million to do surgery on a freaking possum. I'm telling you. And so I put my broadheads back in, cut my fingers all up. I drew back, and I tried to send one right up his butt right there, and I did. And so anyways.
The old Texas heart shot.
Yes, sir. So, it actually caught him. It caught him kind of like ham right there. He's 60-some yards, and I'm shaking like
Did you catch the femoral?
No.
He was dead from the first shot.
Yeah, he was dead. He was smoked from that first shot.
You were just trying to end it quicker.
That's just,
hey.
Again, no sad stories.
Dude, I'd have been throwing grenades at him.
Yeah.
And so, and at this time, it starts raining even harder. Okay, so here I have just shot this thing, and it starts raining even harder. And so first, I called my wife first, and I told her, I said, I just shot. I wanted her to be the first person to know because, she moved away from the beach.
She's the one that puts up this
shit. She moved all the way from the beach to move out here to southern Iowa.
Live in a cornfield.
Yeah, so I called her and had a moment with her, and then I tried calling Tyler, which he was hunting with his wife. Of course, couldn't get nobody to answer. I called Jason. Jason's off down at the Mizzou game.
Yeah, he called me in the middle of the Mizzou game.
I was like, just
dude, it's November 8th. All your friends are
rednecks.
Hell no one's answering.
And so, but anyway, so I come down and I wanted to go look for blood just solely because it was raining. Mm-hmm. So I went to where he stood. There's blood everywhere. I went to where the last place I seen him before he hit the woods, blood everywhere. So I just set my backpack down there, and I got out.
How far as he went from where you actually shot him, and then you
60
obviously
yards.
had a follow-up shot?
60 yards.
So you visibly can't see where he
no.
He's over the knoll or whatever. Yeah.
He's he jumped the fence and went into the timber. And so I go out, and I call my dad happened to be out here. He's down on our Missouri farm hunting, though, and one of my good buddies, and I called them. They were supposed to be staying down there, and he's like, nope, we're packing up. We're coming up to your house.
Sure.
And so we waited. It took about 2.5 hours for, Tyler and everybody to get there. And
the posse.
Yeah, and that's a long – and I knew, like I told – because Tyler, as excited as what we all get and all, Tyler, he don't get excited, or at least he don't show the emotion to it, And Tyler's like, well, oh, boy, where do you think you got him? Do you know what kind of shot? And I said, Tyler, I said, he's dead. There's no doubt. He's dead. I said, I just didn't see him fall. Yeah, thought it maybe, if anything, because you're trying to critique yourself.
Damn sure better to be low than high, though.
Yeah, if anything, I told Jason, I was like, if anything, I'm just a tick low. Well, they all get there, and we go down here. There's 8 or 9 of us, and we jump it. It's just blood everywhere you can go, and we go about another 60 yards. And Tyler was on the blood trail because I'll just tell you, I suck at blood trailing. I just can't find stuff. Sure. I don't know. I just suck at it. Always have. That's why I got friends that know how to good. And but he's on the blood trail, and I'm just shining a light, and I seen that fool over there, and I was like, here he is. And I took off running to him, and it just flabbergasted me. And, you can't help but cry. Like, I got up there and because my dad was there with me, all my buddies, and it's just a lifetime of everything. And then for it to happen on your own piece of dirt, and then with a deer that you passed and a deer that you had a plan for, and it just it was just a special, special feeling,
Well, and the hardest thing is, you sent me pictures of him early, and obviously we were ecstatic for you. But today, putting hands on this thing, he doesn't have a bad angle. I will say that. Literally, you can't look at him where he doesn't look big, but pictures definitely do this deer almost no justice.
You're talking about that
this
deer.
Thing is a freak.
He's only 14.5 inches inside.
Yeah.
Okay. And
basket rack.
Yeah, a lot of guys judge off a spread, but so if you took off all of his extras, just to give you an idea, and you just scored this deer as an 8-pointer.
Yep.
Just an 8. This deer is almost 180 inches.
That's just gonna.
He's got 54.5 inches of mass, just in mass. And so that's. And I'll tell you, the whole time I was off the camera, the few people that did know about him, we was talking. I was like, somebody could kill that deer and tell me he scored 190 or he scored 220, and I'll believe anything in between.
When they get so big like that,
you just can't. So it was a pretty special night. But
truthfully, looking at it, Brian, not to interrupt you, but the only thing, he's got two things that are obtuse, right? His mass is definitely well above average, and this brow tine's extreme.
Yep.
Beyond that, he doesn't have a 15-inch tine on his head.
No, but he's got all this. He's the mass.
This drop tine's badass. This flyers and
he's got a little bit of everything that you could ever dream of, you know. And so he. But what went crazy? So next day, we're right back hunting. Like they couldn't believe that. What in the heck? But I had let another booner get by me hunting this deer, and I'm not going to lie about it. Like I said, I had multiple tags. I was going to shoot this deer. If my stepson wouldn't have been in the blind with me, that deer would have died. He was big enough. He was worth rolling the dice with T-Rex, okay? And I had that deer at 30 yards and didn't get him killed, but that was just – I'm not blaming nobody. It's my own fault.
The blind was shaking so bad from
God.
cold.
No. I told him. I grabbed his knee. I said,
"Can't blame him.
You got to calm down."
I said, "Calm down." I said, "You're not even shooting. like you're not even shooting. You got to calm down here. Like you're gonna make me miss." And
right.
But so I'm back at it the next day, and I thought I was going 2 for 2. I really did. And I was praying. I was like, I know this ain't the end of my life, because the good Lord is going to send 2 deer like this, And
if you would have, I'd have drove straight to the gas station and bought a Powerball.
Yeah. Well, he comes out, and this is a big – again, I got a video of him. This deer's 330, 340 pounds. I'm talking he looks like a freaking Brahma bull, and he's 100 and mid-170s, 10-pointer, just big, slick.
That's my favorite.
I had him at 70 yards chasing a doe again, and I knew for sure he was coming, and he didn't. His doe just didn't come on, but so we was still hunting hard, but it was a pretty surreal feeling. And like I said, it goes back to, I tell clients this all the time, and this ain't a sales tactic, it's the truth. When you kill a deer, and it don't have to be a 200-inch deer, it can be a 130-inch deer, 120. When you kill a deer on your own piece of dirt that you own, it's different than what it is on a permission piece or a lease, or when your wife or your son or your daughter kills one on something that you control.
Yep.
And then to take it a step further, when it's a deer that you passed and your neighbors passed and all that, and so when I sent you pictures of him the night I killed him, November the 8th, you was ready, because we're affiliated with Hoyt and everybody ready to let's blast on social media. And I told you, I said, I need you to hold off. I want to go show them to my neighbors first.
Yep.
I felt like I owed that much respect to them, because if it weren't for them, I'd have never killed this deer.
And let's be honest, Brian, you sent me shitty back of the Ranger pictures.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I didn't care at the time. I was just happy for you. But I was like, that is not what we're posting.
Yeah. And so, but I wanted to, I wanted to go see my neighbors, and I was able. I got him skint, got him caped out and all, and I took him over there to my neighbors to show them, and like I told them, I said, look, without y'all, I'd have never killed this deer. Mm-hmm. Y'all passed him. I said, y'all could have just as easily killed him. And I said, this proves what we're doing here is working.
Yep.
And they all agreed, and they gave me the shed off of it.
That's cool.
And so, and I told them, I showed them videos. Like, I'm not some greedy guy that thinks these are my deer. Let me tell you something. Unless you're hunting inside of a fence, they ain't your deer. Okay, they're wild animals.
Absolutely.
That's what they are. And I showed them that big 10-pointer, and I showed them, like, I was like, these are some, these are the other deer back here that we're trying to hunt, and they got the sheds off of that deer, both sets, and he's exactly around 174, 175.
Still alive.
Oh yeah, they got a shed.
So this year he's got a judgment day coming.
That's the plan.
Right.
That's the hopeful plan.
Any confirmation of life on him yet or not?
Not yet. But I'll be honest with you, Kurt. We've been so busy. I have not got my camera. We ain't got cameras out. We've been trying to get clients' cameras out. And
Well, and actually this maybe is a good pivot point because and I don't even remember, Jason. I mean, I knew you before I knew these guys, but I don't even remember how I got introduced to you guys. I mean, obviously I knew you were affiliated with Jason and stuff, but I don't remember if it was convention or one of the trips down there.
Probably would have been convention.
It would have been the convention there.
Sure. Well, because I remember giving you guys shit because we're like, Jason Aldean and Luke Combs just walked in, and here's Bryan and Tyler. But I want to go there for a second because as much as I'd love to spend more time talking about deer, like that story's awesome. I mean, it is the dream we're all looking for. You developed it. The one thing I do want to get across, though, is both you and Tyler obviously now are Iowa residents, but neither one of you are from your area. You know, and that's one of the – I don't want to say an old wives' tale, but I mean one thing in real estate, it does seem like the top performers are typically doing business in their backyard. They got family connections and buddies and friends and whatever. You guys are the plumb opposite. Yeah. Tyler's from Arkansas, I think, and you're from the Carolinas. Like, walk us through that a little bit because, I mean, you guys are crushing it. Yeah. But you're not doing it in your backyard. You're doing it where
it's definitely it makes it a lot tougher. But so it started. I started hunting Illinois. That's where I first started going out of state, Ohio and Illinois, and I liked Illinois. A lot of giant deer. We was hunting more southern Illinois, and I'll tell you how I done it. I was calling churches, talking to pastors, and they was hooking us up with farmers. We had 4,000 acres to hunt in Illinois, just permission ground. Nice. And then I grew up farming my whole life. That's what by trade I'm a tobacco farmer.
I think
and
you just got a new
farmer.
nickname. I think we start calling him Preacher Man.
Well, we that's what we done. We called churches from the same denomination church that we go to, and they did. But so I farmed tobacco my whole life, and so we ended up getting in with some farmers. During the day, I'd help them run a combine or truck grain for them. They let us hunt.
Absolutely.
And so we do, but to fast forward, I drew my first Iowa tag. Okay. And I hunted Iowa.
And how long ago? Like how old? Like
I was. So we're talking. I drew that first Iowa tag in 2018. So 8 years ago. I've been hunting Illinois since 2010, 2011.
Yep.
And I hunted Iowa. And it was like, holy crap! I never knew something like this existed. Like I just didn't. And now Iowa 2018 was a little different than Iowa.
100%.
But it was like, oh my gosh! So I was like, North Missouri, heck, it touches right here. I got to buy something. Like I need to look for a lease. Well, I was looking at land for sale, and I was like, my gosh, this is cheap for what it cost us back here in the Carolinas, And then I was looking, I was like, you're telling me I can buy this farm for this, and it's got this much income on it every year? This is something ain't right. This is like dealing drugs. Like this something ain't right, And so I started calling on a few farms, and it's funny because where I seen and how I met Jason was Craigslist. Do you remember when you was advertising on Craigslist, Jason?
We advertise everywhere.
Where all the pedophiles hang out.
Yeah. So this was back in the Craigslist days, but I'll never forget it. He had 20 acres for sale, and that was in Scotland, wasn't it? Schuyler. Yep. 20 acres. $40,000 was the asking price on it, and it was an easement to get to it, kind of in the middle of the block.
Kind of a goofy, a good little hunting piece, but just a goofy deal to get to it.
And so I had called Jason, and I'd called Jason.
Because you had the listing.
Yeah, and he had it advertised on Craigslist.
That's funny.
And I was like, hey, look, I want to look at this farm. I'm coming up to hunt Iowa, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, is there a motel or anything we can stay?
But you guys had never met.
No.
This is totally random.
Yeah, this is totally random. Yep. And he's like, and that was back when he was what I call hustling days. Jason, he was gritty on it. So we drive all the way up here to this little podunk town of Memphis, Missouri, and he tells me this motel to stay at. It's the only one there, the Sunrise, and
sure,
we get a room there, and I was like, my God, I know the rats are staying with me here, And
it's actually pretty nice.
It is, but remember, it's been sold since y'all sold it since we stayed there.
Yes,
it was under. It's different ownership.
So
it's really nice now. Yeah, it's really nice. It really is. But so meet Jason out there. He's got the side by side. He's got United Country all over his truck, the whole nine. And he takes us in there and he shows me this farm. And he's like, "Look, I'll just be straight with you. We can find you stuff better. Like this really, we can find you something better for what you're looking for." Because I told him,
when you start hearing what somebody's looking for, right? So this ain't, you can know pretty quick. I'll sell you what if you want to buy it. I'll write a contract for it.
Absolutely.
Number one, we don't really sell. The real estate sells itself. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it does. Anyway. But I told him what I was looking for, and he's like, "Look, this ain't. We can find you something better for what your goals are, and that's something we pride ourselves on. Is we want to find you your goals. Now, look, there's a buyer for every property,
100%.
But when you're in this case, if you're representing buyer and seller, dual agency, you have to do what's best for both. That's your obligation. So I stay in touch with Jason, go hunt Iowa, blah blah blah. Stay in touch with him, and of course I'm calling realtors like crazy and talking to them. Well, I liked Jason from talking with all these different other realtors. Well, I had found a farm that I liked, and it was 82 acres over in Putnam County. And Jeff Probst, love him to death, one of Jason's best friends. I'm good friends with him now, and he had it listed.
I think everyone knows Jeff Probst.
Yeah, he had it listed, but I liked Jason. Jason was running around looking at farms for me. I'm 1,000 miles away, and we start making offers on it. Well, it got up. I think we started out at $1,500.
You came out, right? You came out and looked at it.
After we had it under contract to approve it. Yeah, he went and looked at it for me, and he told me, he's like, it'll fit what you want. And so we get to they're at 2,000. I'm at 1,800. Nobody's budging, and Jason's like, hey, it ain't worth that. We'll find. Just let's keep looking. And I was like, Jason.
And think about those numbers now, right?
Yeah.
$1,800, $2,000.
Should have just bought it.
Yeah. And so Jason's like, it ain't worth that. We find something else. I was like, Jason, tell him I'll give him the $2,000. He's like, I'm telling you it's not. I said, I don't give a damn. Tell him I'll give him the $2,000.
Gonna own that one.
So we got it. I had it contingent on me viewing it. Flew out. Yep. Let's go with it. They want a bigger deer pitcher, and Jeff to this day will tell you this guy owned it for 10 years. Biggest deer pitcher he ever had was 125-inch deer. We slammed a 165 on it,
right
and
out of the gate.
The second year found his sheds, had his matching sheds and all, but good little farm, good starter farm. But that got me my start. Well, then I was calling realtors at this time. Right then, land was starting to tick up.
But you're not a realtor?
No, just a buyer, a buyer. Yep. Farmer. Fireman. I've been a captain at the fire department for 18 years, blah, blah, blah. So I'm talking with all these different realtors because what the trend I was starting to see was you couldn't use a buyer's agent. You couldn't. You wouldn't get it bought. It was starting to sell so quick. And so I talked with all these different realtors, and I'll never call them out by name, but 90% of them is full of crap. And that's speaking as a buyer, not as a realtor. Well, then we had some 1031 money. We bought a 300-acre farm down here. And straight up got told. I told him he wouldn't. Straight up got told that if I used Jason, that it'd cost me more money to buy it. Straight up got that told to me. Okay? And And I told Jason, I was like, we've got to do this 1031. Well, fly out here again to accept the farm. We signed a map with the contract, the whole nine. Get out here, the property line's 400 yards. I ain't even buying the farm that the map shows. And we had 3 days left to complete our 1031. And that's a whole nother story. But ended up buying it and then found another one. We had a little bit of money left. Found another one. Jason went and looked at it. We got it bought up. And so then fast forward, I liked it, Jason, because I felt like he'd tell it to me straight. All these other realtors, and I mean a bunch of them,
blowing smoke up your ass.
Every farm you call about's the best hunting farm around.
Of course,
everything's great, and so I liked dealing with Jason. Well, I had buddies and all looking, so I'd be sending them to Jason. I'd call Jason, hey Jason, go look at this farm. I'm about to, old dude's gonna call you, blah blah blah. And Jason finally one day was like, Bryan, why the hell don't you get your real estate license?
Right.
He's like, I'm telling you, as many of these deals as you're putting together, you might as well, make something in between on it and all.
Yep.
And so I started doing my real estate license online and all, and for the first 2 years, I sold from North Carolina, flying back and forth, and was selling.
So you just got licensed in Missouri. You didn't.
Missouri,
you weren't even licensed in the Carolinas.
Oh no, got licensed in Missouri.
Still not. No.
Yeah, got
funny.
licensed in Missouri, and then waited however long it had to be to test for Iowa.
You don't have to take good standing. But.
Took the test for Iowa, and I mean we was doing pretty good with it, and I knew. But what I figured out, Kurt, and I told Jason this after dealing with all these realtors on the buying side, and keep in mind at this time we done sold this first farm in 1031, and I started building my snowball, and we'd build farms out, but I've never done that. This is the hand to the Bible. I have not bought a farm and sold it since I've been a realtor. I will not. I draw the line there. That to me, that's just
you're not going to compete with your potential clients.
I'm not competing with clients. I'm not out here. If you call me to come tell you what your farm's worth, I'm telling you full retail. We're not going
to try to buy the farm.
I'm not selling it twice.
Yeah.
I'm not the one that's going to bring a flipper in. Now I've got those guys. Don't get me wrong. Hey, if somebody needs money and I tell them it's worth this, and they say, I don't care, I need this today, we all got them guys. Everybody does, okay? But I've not done that since I become a realtor, and I'm not going to. And but I told Jason, I was like, I know I can be better than all these guys I talk to because all of them's full of shit.
Right.
That's what they are. Not every farm.
And I will say, I mean, like, Southern Iowa, Northern Missouri in general,
we've got so many.
There's a gazillion guys trying to be the guy.
Yeah. Half of them you can lock in a 1 acre pen with a damn deer and they couldn't kill it.
Right.
And I'm just speaking the truth here. Mm-hmm. But so got my real estate license, and I knew I was wanting to move. I was tired of the debacle, and my wife was willing to let's move, and so that just kind of worked out, and we got my stuff settled up there, and she went in to quit her job. She'd been working at a dentist office. She run files, does all their insurance stuff and all. She'd been working there for 16, 17 years. She went in and wanted to give them an 8-week notice, and they told her, said, you ain't quitting. Said, buy the stuff you need to work from out there, and you can go remote, and we'll give you a pay raise.
Well, hell.
And I told her, I said, if that ain't the good Lord kicking us in the rear end to
Absolutely.
Go, and we left. And it's been the best decision ever. I mean, it's just made so between the real estate career, the deer hunting. I go to work every day, and I can honestly say I look forward to going to work every day. It's
We're going
fun.
to play in the dirt.
Yeah, and we do stuff for deer hunting every day. I get more freedom, more time to spend with my family and all, and like I love it, and the connections you meet in the hunting industry and just the real estate world in general. It's invaluable, It's
good people.
It's good people, and like I probably stay a little more in tune with a lot of clients and what most people do because I just love hunting. I want to see the pictures of the deer. I want to let's text back and forth about what's happening, and so it's been good. Now, is it tough to come in and compete being an outsider? It is.
Well, it's just different, right?
It's tough with like the locals. They don't know you, but you just have to go that extra mile. And I want to treat every client the way I was looking to be treated.
Yep.
Hence, that's why I come to work with Jason. And that's not a smoke blowing. That's a fact.
Yep.
I mean, like, I've still got text messages saved on my phone. If you wouldn't believe the stuff from when I was a buyer, what some realtors, what they'd send and what they'd say. And, like, hey, I come list your farm. You want me to come list it, right? I come list it. Well, I listed it $4,000 an acre. Immediately I send it out. Hey, here it is. He'll take $3 for it.
Yeah.
Ain't that who you want representing you, Kurt?
No. No.
And so that's what drove us to this. And then Tyler, he had moved. He took off when he was 18 years old, went guiding for outfitters.
Yep.
He left solely for the deer hunting, ended up meeting his wife in North Missouri. That's where they set up shop. When me and him got tied in with each other, he was the only other dude I'd met that was as stupid on deer as I was.
Yep.
And that's what kind of tied us in. He moved his family across into Iowa just for them resident tags. I mean, that's the truth. Yeah. I live 5 miles north of the Missouri line.
Yep.
But a lot of my businesses are in Missouri, And
yeah.
So it's been a great thing.
It's just a cool story. And your guys is, I laugh at it because Bryan, obviously you're very outgoing, go. And Tyler's more reserved and talks quiet and you know what I mean? But you guys, I
can't get him to tell, like, he hunted for juries, you know that. And he killed 2 or 3 booners on film.
Probably one of the best fishermen in Iowa.
That's what he's doing right now. And but I tell Tyler when we talk with these clients, because you've got to show some, you've got to have some type of merit to show that, like, look, me telling you this is a good farm, this ain't a sales tactic. Right. And I've told Tyler he don't want to tell him nothing. The boy's 34 years old. He's got 60-some deer mounts. He's killed 11 booners with his bow from Arkansas to Missouri to Iowa.
He's a killer.
And done 90% of them on public land.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you right now, there ain't nobody out here that is going to get in there and go find a big deer no better than him. I mean, I can't.
He's next
I'm not
level.
as good as he is.
He's
like, I'm just telling you the truth. And so,
sure.
but we.
He's mad at him.
Absolutely.
He's mad at turkeys, too.
Yeah, I swear to you, he will call a turkey.
I actually think he's more mad at turkeys than deer.
He'll call a turkey out of the oven, and that's no lie. You'll see that son of a gun put feathers back on and come out damn gobbling. I'm telling you. But it's been a good thing, Kurt. And I sit here. My dad asked me. He told me, he's like, you moved to hope for this one day, and chase this deer hunting. He said, you're never going to kill one bigger, so what do you do now? I said, Dad, you may be right, but I do live where it can happen.
Absolutely.
It can happen. And it ain't about, heck, I killed a 152-inch 8-pointer after I killed him, a big old mature deer. I just like killing mature deer because it don't matter. If he's 5.5 plus, it don't matter if he's got 200 inches on his head or 100 inches. It's a chess match.
And that's the mentality people have to have when you're truly managing and playing the game. You're doing it to age. And it's just an odds game because eventually, if your goal is to shoot 6-7-year-old deer,
that's it.
Eventually, you're going to have one pop like this.
And I mean, here's the fact. Like I told everybody, I don't care if I thought he was 4.5, if he was 1.5, if he had milk on his mouth. When they get to that level for me, call me. I'll never be the guy that kills a 270. I don't guess, but he's dying. It don't matter.
Well, and let's be honest, most deer will never you're never even going to have the opportunity. So I'm the same way. Like. Even passing a booner's tough, boy.
I'll tell you one main point I forgot to tell about this. When he disappeared for the 2 days, we had one get poached right north of my house.
Like head cut off,
head cut off. Yeah. So he vanished off my camera. Come by, I see this deer carcass, this deer body laying out there with the head cut off. I immediately called the DNR. I called my neighbors. I called the DNR officer. He had been out there that morning and seen it. And I told my wife, I said, it's probably him. That's why, because he's been here every day.
Sure.
And I was ready to kill somebody. And the DNR officer told me, he's like, we're looking for this vehicle, this thing. They're going around doing it. And when he showed back up, it was like a sigh of relief.
Right.
But
Christmas come early.
So when I thought that he had got poached, I really did.
Unbelievable. Well, it's such a cool story, and I guess not to make it sound cliche, but couldn't have happened to a better dude, and I mean that. Like, you deserved it.
Well, I'll put it to you like this. I do feel like that I do believe in good karma. Like, before I moved, I let David, he used to work with us and all.
Yep.
He helped me manage some of my farms, done my food plots. I sent him in to kill a 194-inch deer. His biggest deer splits.
Yeah.
I mean, and people ask me all the time.
On video.
Yeah, on video, on TV. And people ask me all the time, like, why would you do that? And I was like, look, I want to see mature deer die. I can't draw a tag. Yeah. Why wouldn't I want to see one of my good friends who's helping me do the work?
Right.
Why wouldn't I want to see him kill him? And like, so, and I felt like I paid it forward on quite a few of them because we're not greedy. Our little group here between me and Jason and Tyler, and we've got about 7 or 8 of us that's the circle, Kurt.
Sure.
The
circle of trust.
Yeah. And like Jason, he'd soon see me kill that deer as he would himself. Tyler, same way, and all vice versa. Everybody wants the other person because we're not greedy about it.
Right.
As long as everybody puts in work.
And that's the cool thing we're pretty blessed to live where we live. I mean, you guys are up here in Northeast Iowa today, but I mean, I feel the same way. Like, let's be honest, we never have to, like, truly rebuild. Every year you might reload. Yeah. But you're never starting from ground zero. You're just not. I mean, you thought you got wiped out with the EHD 2 years later, you kill 200-inch deer. So, anyway, all that said, guys, I know we're getting long-winded. Can't thank you enough for coming up. Love the story. Congrats again, and great to see you guys. Appreciate it.